Nike really is ending the year strong with the foams. Last month we got the Foamposite Pro Pearl, one of the best Foamposite colorways ever. And now this month we're getting a colorway that first dropped 14 years ago. And oh, it is delicious. Nike Air Foamposite Pro Pine Green. The shoe is dropping on December 19th for $240. This is a colorway that first dropped in 2011. It's been 14 long years and it has been absolutely worth the wait because up close, in hand, this is such a pretty shoe. From images, I was already like, this is a great looking shoe. I need these, but up close, it's up there. This is one of the best Foamposite colorways, Pro or One, I think ever. And the materials on the shoe, of course, very, very unique. You get this Foamposite material. If you have never felt it in hand, if you press down, it does have like this rubbery feeling to it. It is pretty solid, but it does have some give. Now, this material is slightly softer than it came in 1997. So there's a slight difference there. And one good thing about that is slightly less break-in time. Back in the day, foams would just take quite a while to break in. But the way they make this is by heating up polyurethane to around 175 degrees Fahrenheit, pour it into a mold. Once it cools, it gives it this shape. And this shape was originally inspired by a beetle. So that is supposed to represent a beetle's shell. And the one cool thing about the Foamposite material is that it is very durable. The more you wear it, the more it molds to your feet. Now, another thing about this colorway specifically is the color shifting look to it. So under specific lighting, so you see on my B-roll, you'll see this pine green a little bit more. So you see like a brighter shade of green. Without that lighting, it almost looks like a very dark green mixed with a little bit of black there. I love this shade. It is not too bright where it's like awful lucky green color that I personally really hate, but this just honestly looked great. Now, in terms of the shade of green, is it the exact same as the 2011 colorway? I don't know, and I couldn't give a flying because this looks great. And of course, you'll see very prominently the swoosh on the lateral side of the shoe that obviously doesn't exist on the Foamposite One. And another difference between the Pro and the One is at the tongue, you'll see Air branding in the middle instead of Penny Hardaway's logo. And then on the booty of the shoe, you see a Nike just stitched there, not Penny Hardaway's logo there too. And on the pull tab on the back, you will see Foamposite. Now, between the Ones and the Pros, which one would I prefer? I actually do think the Pros, like the swoosh, breaks up the upper pretty well. I do think that looks slightly nicer. Maybe it's just recency bias because we've seen two really nice Foamposite Pro colorways released consecutively. But yeah, I think that swoosh is a nice addition. Now, moving on to the eye stays, it is just synthetic nubuck. That's how it came in 1997 on the original foams. It's not like the greatest material, but it is what it is. And you'll see that mini swoosh near that toe box, and the tongue is actually part of this inner booty here. I get more to sizing and comfort later, but that kind of wraps around your feet pretty nicely. And in terms of the cushioning of the shoe, the Foamposite does come with full-length Nike Air with another one on the heel, so double stacked on the back of the feet, as well as a full-length carbon fiber plate that adds stiffness and rigidity to the shoe so it doesn't twist and bend too easily. Remember, this is originally a basketball shoe. You do not want your basketball shoes to be too soft, too flimsy. And it also comes up to the sides here, so that helps with stability. And it also helps with kinetic energy return. So when you press down, you want as much energy to come back as possible in a sport like basketball. The carbon fiber plate underfoot helps with that too. And now you'll see on the outsole, these herringbone traction pattern around different parts of the shoe. With the Foamposite One, you just get majority Foamposite, no breakup there. So that's another slight difference between the Pros and the Ones, as well as this large swoosh running down the heel. That looks really pretty, especially with the translucent part of it. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. Sometimes that material, if you're playing ball in this, can really attract dust pretty easily in an indoor gym. So that's one thing to look out for. But apart from that, this kind of traction should really still hold up, but it definitely holds up aesthetically. The insole of the shoe, you get Nike Air branding, the quality of it. this is just some nonsense. And the box of the shoe, nothing too special here. Just a black Nike box, very common for foams, and just paper inside. Now, in terms of sizing and comfort, I am a wide and flat footer. For foams, generally, just go true to size. There is some break-in time. Be patient. I do feel like it wraps around your feet pretty nicely once you break the shoe, and it is still pretty heavy. So keep that in mind. There is no breaking in like weight. It'll stay the same weight. Underfoot, it can feel a little stiff with that carbon fiber. If you've never worn like a basketball shoe as a casual shoe, that might be something you need to adjust to. But one thing I will say is the ankle lining here around the foams aren't like super padded. So it's relatively thin. But overall, even in 2025, despite the heavy weight of the foams, I still think it's a decently comfortable shoe. And that brings the total score of the Foamposite Pro Pine Green to 31.5 out of 40. A pretty high score compared to other general releases. Now, first to this colorway, had to give it a 9 out of 10 because I think 10s are reserved for like just legends. Like the Jordan 1 Bread, Jordan 1 Chicago, Jordan 11 Cool Grays, the Space Jams for me are 10 out of 10 as well. So I have to give those types of shoes 10 out of 10. But 9 out of 10 is still really good. This is really, and I can't stress enough, up close, just a delicious looking colorway. If you have like any doubts, if you're slightly on the fence and you don't mind spending $240, I strongly encourage you to go for this shoe. And in terms of the materials, obviously very unique. It is durable, molds to your feet the more you wear it. It is one of a kind. Only reason I don't give it 10 out of 10 is because I still think just really nice nubuck or really nice leather. Nubuck is just leather, like treated differently. It is really hard to beat that. Now, in terms of comfort, a few drawbacks to the foams. Number one is the weight. It is a heavy, brickish feeling shoe, like just weight-wise. And number two, the break-in time can be pretty long. Even though they're using like the softer type of materials, it still doesn't break in as quick as like mesh, like an Air Max 1 or something like that. So you gotta have patience. The carbon fiber or basketball nature of this shoe can feel a little stiff to some people, but apart from that, if you're used to like older retro shoes, I think this is very comfortable. And in terms of versatility, I think the foams are still pretty athletic looking, even though people do wear quite often for casual use. It is a shape that is pretty out there. Like to a general audience, not people that are into sneakers, you see this shoe, you're like, kind of weird, kind of odd looking. Don't know if it can go with a lot of different things and like in different settings. So that's one drawback. And in terms of the wearability of the colorway, this green is obviously pretty out there. It's got a metallic sheen to it. This green might be a bit too bold for some people. So I don't think it's like the most versatile shoe, especially compared to like a Foamposite Pro Pearl. That is a super wearable colorway. This one, not quite as much. But still, if you're wearing these, you probably don't care about wearability, versatility. You probably want to stand out a bit. And you will. And today's throwback of the day, sticking on theme to foams, it is the 2012 Paranormans. That was a promotional release for the movie, dropped in August of that year. It was very limited, and the way you had a chance to actually get this shoe was kind of weird. So you had to post like your weirdest childhood photo on social media. I believe it was Twitter at the time, or maybe there was other platforms, but it was very hard to get. It has this smoky green upper with like the bright green Volt colors. And on the booty, that is where you'll see a lot of custom branding with the phrase Weird Wins, as well as the movie's characters stitched on the left shoe. And of course, with that type of green, it is glow in the dark. And with Nike bringing back a ton of very hard to get shoes from like 10, 15 years ago, why not bring these back? Give people that didn't have any weird childhood photos back in the day a chance to just grab them like a normal sneaker release. It has been a pretty good year for foams. The Galaxies came back, the Foamposite Pro Pearl came back, and this shoe, originally at the beginning of the year, I was like, the Galaxy is going to be the best foams of 2025, hands down, no doubt. But then you get these in hand up close, you get the Pearls in hand up close. Oh, it's much harder to choose than I originally thought. I don't know, it might be blasphemous because Galaxies are obviously like grail status to a lot of people, or they were before they re-released them and made it more generally available. Still a very special and historically significant shoe, just in a vacuum. These these might be the best. Maybe the pearls, but depending on my mood, these could be up there. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Nike Air Foamposite Pro Pine Green. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.